Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This week's Monday, Wednesday uploads will be done from my phone. This week for school is finals week, so I'm going the easy route. I'm filming these two videos on my phone today, keeping them up until I'm going to go ahead and upload them until I can process and put them up on the days they're supposed to be up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what we're doing. So we will make those schedule uploads possible. Today's video, from the title you can tell, is affordable palettes for Christmas by one specific brand. And this is going to be Juvia'S Place. Now, Juvia'S Place ranges from $18 for a blush palette all the way to $25 for an eyeshadow palette. So that's shade range. I don't own all of the palettes. I do have most of them, but I don't own all of them. Excuse me, my lip rang at guac. But I don't own all of them. I do own most, not all. Juvia'S Place, for me, just has really, really nice quality, and they blend so well. This look today was from a Juvia'S Place palette, which we'll get to in just a minute. It's one of my newer ones, but I just wanted to introduce the brand to you guys. It is very affordable, so getting a palette for $20 even, that's like, the most expensive one is $25. So getting a palette for $25 really isn't that bad, especially if you're looking for good quality, because these blend so well. They're so very pigmented, and I do really like this palette. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk to you guys a little bit about Christmas gifts, and when to buy a Juvia'S Place palette, I guess. Okay, so these palettes would be really, really, really nice for your friends and family who you want to buy something for that's good quality, especially if they're wanting to experiment with color, or if you kind of have ideas of what they like as far as color. You can kind of place them with the Juvia'S Place palette. There are a few here that I really, really, really want to get into, and they're so beautiful. I'm going to show you every single one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to discuss all 8 with you, and yeah. So, $20 for the smaller palettes from Juvia'S Place. You've got $20 for the medium Juvia'S Place, and then $25 for a bigger palette. So that's not too bad. $18 for the blush, like I said. I don't own one of those, so I can't really speak for pigmentation or anything in those, but I'm going to go through these so you guys can look at them. This is going to be like my new, my Juvia'S Place collection / a cheap Christmas gift idea. Which, ooh, that sounds like a good title. So we're going to start with the one that I wore on my eyes today. This is the Freak by Juvia'S Place. Now, Juvia'S is just such good quality packaging. Like, it's a cardboard package, but it's just nicely packaged, I think. It's very simple. It does have raised letters for Juvia'S Place right here, which I do really like that. And I love how all of the palettes have different pictures on the front from, I don't know what even times you would call these. They're like history type. In my opinion, it just reminds me of history. So, I don't know if that's how you would perfectly describe them. But yes, this one's just got this lady on it. And in the little head wrap, I think that is just so cute. The colors inside the palette are bright. So, if you know that someone likes some bright, fun colors, this might be a good palette. This yellow is really screaming at me, so we might give it a swatch really quick. I used this on my eyes today, but I used just some basic colors. This one right here. So I used that color. I used this angelic color. And then this Fiji. Or, no, actually that's Fifi. So that completed my whole eye look today. And I really like it. But this yellow is super pigmented. And I'm just going to go ahead and swatch it for you guys because, oh my goodness, that is so pigmented for a yellow. It is so hard to find a nice yellow. So I'm super excited about that color. But this palette could be bought for the type of person who loves the shimmer, the sparkle, and the matte, but in fun colors. Your shimmers on the bottom are more for what somebody would use every day. You've got this like camel color, and then you've got this, what I would call a cinnamon color, and then this maroony type color, which worked amazing in my crease. I loved that color. And then an orange. You also got a green and a yellow. So Juvia's Place always has very unique packaging as far as like the setup of eyeshadows. It doesn't really make sense, but I feel like it forces you to break out of your comfort zone and use some colors together that you wouldn't think that you would. And even this, down to this blue, this cobalt blue. I'm going to swatch it because I just got this palette and I'm super excited about it. Like, I just want to do my makeup a bunch. Now, it is a little chalky and powdery, but it's nothing. Swatches don't always do justice. I mean, I may just have to play around with that on my eyes or what have you. But this, a Freak palette or a Freak or whatever, is very nice for the colorful lover. I love this palette so far. Can't really speak much because I just got it. This next palette is going to be for your natural toned lovers out there. My sister doesn't really watch my videos anymore. But, I got her this palette for Christmas. It's the Nubian palette, and this is so pretty. I really haven't played around with this palette much because it is so many cool tone colors. It's brand new, and I've never used it, but this palette is nice for the natural toned kind of people. You've got some cool tones and some warm tones in here. You can actually make a pretty decent look out of this. And I feel like this palette right here would be a great beginner palette for those who are afraid to experiment with some of the browns. Because I know whenever I started wearing makeup, I was into like a silver and black smoky eye. I was really afraid to experiment with browns. So this is one of those palettes to me that really helps experiment a little bit more with the brown tones. And this one's got like a pink little shift to it. I don't know if you can tell. But for $20, I mean, you really cannot go wrong with this one at all. And I know my sister will love it. Another thing you have to know about Juvia'S Place is that you can always find their palettes on sale. And to me, that is just amazing because I love me some good sales. And I got these last Nubian palettes for $12. So that was a really, really good deal. The next palette I want to talk about is the Deuce by Juvia'S. And this palette is so pretty. It's got that like kind of holographic-y packaging on it. And the woman on the outside of this is just so beautiful. I did recently take all my palettes out of boxes, and whenever I looked at this palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to use this again. But it is just one of those palettes that I feel like actually kind of coordinate very well together. You've got this huge silver, which I love that color, and then a dark, dark chocolate brown, and this tart color, which is like a white with pink reflex in it. This, to me, is if you're scared of color, get this palette. If you know you want to try colors, and that's what Juvia'S Place, I think, more geared towards, is people wanting to experiment. And I feel like they kind of make you go out of your comfort zone with them throwing as much colors as they do in their palettes. Now, I'm looking right here from this. You know, I feel like this triangle with this pink would be really pretty. And, you know, I didn't notice that until I was looking at it in my camera. But this palette is beautiful. And the green color in here, we'll just swatch it because it is so beautiful. This packs a lot of pigment. I like to use this color a lot. All over the lid with a chocolate brown on the outside. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. It is literally the most pigmented, most buttery color that I own in that kind of shade. This pink I haven't really played around with, but this palette is more towards the cool tone people who want to experiment with color. The next palette is also one of my favorites. It's the Zulu by Juvia'S. And just look at how pretty. They just spend, I feel like, so much time on the person that they put on the front of their palette. I just think they just put a lot of time into. This is also one of those reflective kind of packages. And this one is going to be for your colorful wearer. And you're kind of like, well, I don't see myself using this a lot. And the pans are huge. So if you hit the bottom of one of these, like, I would be super surprised. But I've actually, like, gotten a complete look out of this palette. It was kind of tricky and it was kind of hard, so I had to pull a couple other palettes into it. But it did create a very decent, nice looking look. And this one's just going to be for those people who are afraid to branch out and want to just get one palette specifically full of bold kind of colors. Because I even feel like these are going to be your darker, bold colors. So they're going to be more opaque and pack a bigger punch than the ones that I just got in the Afrique palette or Afrique. And then you've got your nice, bold shimmers. Well, these two are shimmers, and this one is. And then your nice, bold mattes. So you've got your sea kind of color. I like to call this a seaweed color. It's got more green in it, definitely. And then your pink and your purple. So I can see a lot of potential with this palette. But honestly, I think Juvia'S Place is one of those companies where you really have to have a taste for their product. Another one that I can see a lot of people getting some good use out of is going to be the Saharan 2 palette from Juvia'S Place. Now, this one is going to be a lot of cool tone, neutral kind of shades with pops of color. You've got 3 mattes down at the bottom, but 6 shimmers. This one is not going to be one for people who wear a lot of bright kind of colors. And if you definitely only go for mattes, this is definitely not going to be your palette. But I feel like this one you can incorporate a pop of color. Also, you can get a very nice look out of all of these. So this is going to be one for the more, I would suggest a cool toned wearer who wants just a little bit of color. And these are so, like, nicely packed. So I'll just swatch this one for you. And some of these have names on them, some of them don't. This one's Nomad. So it's like a really pretty, I don't know if you guys can tell, shimmery kind of color. And I really do like it. So we'll put it right here. And these are so buttery smooth, so soft. I do really enjoy this color. It's not really focusing that well, but that's okay. This one, definitely for somebody who likes the neutrals, but also just wants one kind of pop of color. If you like blue and you like some natural tones, this is going to be a palette you can grab. The next one is really beautiful as well. I really haven't had time to use this one a whole lot to experiment with it. It's the Magic Mini by Juvia'S. So this one is going to be your smaller. And you can also buy the bigger version of this one. I got the smaller because there's no way I can ever use the whole palette up. This one I have wore, but I went straight for a silver because that's what I'm most familiar with, like, formula-wise, and that's whenever I knew that Juvia'S Place had a really nice palette. This one has a lot of shimmers in it, and again, I just don't even know how somebody can pass up a palette that looks like this. It's got a lot of dark colors, which can kind of scare some people off, but a lot of people don't know if you can feather and blend them out to make them lighter. They are some beautiful, beautiful shades. Look, I've got tacos all in my hair. How disgusting. But this palette to me is a very nice neutral toned palette. I think anybody can get by with using it. Not much to say about this one, I don't reckon. But you've got some nice dark shade you can work in, and then a lot of shimmers. You've got this kind of khaki color right here for whiting out the eyes before you put on some of the colors. But, I mean, this palette is one of just the most simple palettes that they've come out with, along with the Nubian, which I thought was kind of cool because the Nubian was geared towards more people who are comfortable with natural colors, as well as this palette right here. The next palette I'm really excited about because this is actually one of my favorite palettes that there is, because this goes towards both neutral wearers as well as the bright wearers out there. This one is the Masquerade Mini, so you can buy this one in the huge one or the small one. This one is going to have your neutral tone lovers and your colorful lovers. So if you know that you like both, and you know that you'll get use out of both of them, and you want some pops of color, but you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, but you also want something that you can just pull out really quickly and throw together a simple neutral look, this is going to be your palette, because you've got both. You can put in a lot of pops of colors. You can also go with your more straight neutral look. This palette is the one I would first suggest anyone from who's wanting to experience with Juvia'S Place, who likes color. I would prefer, well, not prefer because I'm not you, but I would recommend you get this palette, especially if you're wanting something that can go towards both ways, because this one has so many pretty colors in it. And this is actually the first one I purchased from Juvia'S Place, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it is. And I've used this so much. It doesn't really look like it, but I know I've used it a bunch. This color right here and some of the blues. I do really like this row of blues. I've always been a blue type wearer. But this palette is just set up so nicely. And a lot of people are probably thinking, well, Juvia'S Place puts a lot of color. But that's what I like, is Juvia'S Place puts them in such random order that it makes you just think, man, I know that I like this company, because they make me go out of my comfort zone, and I love that so much. So this next palette is the big palette. It's the Nubian 2, and I didn't get the mini because they didn't have it in stock. So I just purchased the full size. So if you get a full size, you're looking at something like this. The pans of these are huge. The mini ones are much more. If you collect makeup and are, you know, a makeup enthusiast collector or whatever, get the minis. You'll never hit pan on them. But if you find a palette you love, get the big size. This palette also has a ton of neutral shades in it. You've got your browns that you can work into. I think this is probably one of the least connected palettes, only because they have two kind of gold colors here. They are very different. This is more like a true gold, and this one has kind of like a yellow undertone in it. Well, I mean, they both kind of have yellow, but I wish they would have put another color in here aside from one of these. This one I wasn't as impressed with as the others, but I mean, I still really like it, and I still really like the company and the brand. I think that they're phenomenal, and they're coming out with so much more things. Like, it's just unbelievable. But this one, not as impressive to me. But if you like the colors that are in it, or if you know someone who would like the colors, like the green, the blue reappears, but this is a different shade of blue. You got this nice, I love this champagne color right here. This nice goldy kind of, I guess it's like a coppery gold. And this Sheba color is really, really pretty as well, all over the lid. So this one, I wasn't 100% sold on, but I do still really love the formula, and I really love the palette itself, but wish they would have put a different color in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love Juvia'S Place. They are perfect beginner palettes if you're not 100% comfortable with blending an eyeshadow very well. So they're seamless. This is going to be a brand that you'll pick up a neutral palette or pick up a fun, colorful palette and just play around with it. It is so worth it, and I think for what you get, it is worth the value. So if you know somebody around Christmas time who wants to experiment with color, or even if they don't and they want to go more neutral, pick them up the Nubian palette, because you just, honestly, you cannot go wrong. Look at that. So I'm super excited about all of these that I have. I'm super happy that I was able to purchase all of these and able to play with them and let you guys know. If you all want to see a video on any specific Juvia'S Place palette, please let me know. Don't hesitate. I will do a video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, please like this video, comment down below for more video ideas. hit that post notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. And like I always say, can you say it with me? Stay cool and be you. Bye!